Hey guys, welcome back to the channel, and in this video I've got 4 replays for you in the Tier 9 Tech Tree Soviet Tank Destroyer, the OBJ 704. So as always, before I start on the video, I've got the equipment coming up on the top right hand screen, which I run Camo Net, Gun Rammer and Advanced Gun Lane Drive on this tank. And on the perks I have Born Leader, Rapid Reload, 6th Sense, Steady Aim, Situational Awareness, Camouflage Expertise, Silent Driving, the Muffled Shot and Clutch Braking. So yeah, the OBJ 704 for me is just, yeah, doing the grind on this. I thoroughly enjoyed this tank, and yeah, if I'm honest, it was one of those tanks that just kind of clicked with, sort of quite pretty much instantly. And yeah, so I just sort of built up quite a lot of replays for, you know, on the hard drive, which I thought I'll get out and share with you. I sort of done a bit of coverage on this recently with my Guide to Grind series, sort of when we were looking at the grind to the Object 268. And like I say, naturally, sort of having plenty of games in this sort of gave me a lot of decent replays. So yeah, I'll put them in a video for you. And yeah, so the first replay, we are on Sverogorsk, which, if I'm honest, is not the most ideal map for tank destroyers, or tank destroyers of this type, in my opinion, just because I find Sverogorsk is just a bit more of a brawly map. It's more sort of, I think, suited for tank destroyers and such alike. Now, unfortunately, we don't quite get that shot in. But we've come to this position because we can sort of catch tanks out that sort of decide to push, like this Object 705, and we're just going to wait for the prime opportunity, and we can just sort of squeeze a shot in there, which we do. Unfortunately, we only just do track damage, but you know, we've made him burn his repair kit, and hopefully if we can track him again, he won't be able to move and he'll get taken out. So some of the good things about the Object 704 is obviously its high alpha damage, which is, I think, 750 alpha per shot. Just low rolled massively there, but we've managed to get our first pen on the board. It's got very good shell velocity, it's got good penetration values, particularly sort of at 100 meters. The accuracy isn't too bad. You have got a bit of a long reload and aim time, and it has got poor view range because obviously it's Russian. And you know, bit average camo, but like I say, if you sort of build it up with the, you know, sort of camo perks, and let's say the camo net that I put on, you can, you know, you can increase that and improve it. And the mobility is okay, it's not too bad, and you've got 6 degrees of gun depression. But the main thing on this tank is its alpha. It's, you know, it's very hard hitting. And again, like I say, for me, it just, I just clicked with it, just really clicked with it. If I'm honest, I mean, the title suggests, is it better than the Baby Waffle? It's a tough one, because I actually thoroughly enjoyed this tank. But you know, the Waffle was one of my favourite Tier 9 tank destroyers. I would probably put this on par with the Waffle. It's one of my favourites, yeah, out there. If I had to sort of choose, I had to choose between this and Waffle. It's a tough one. I probably have to pick the Waffle because I think at least with the Waffle you've got the, you know, you've got the traversable turret. Whereas this, it's turretless, you know, it's turretless TD, so you don't have that ability to sort of swing the turret around. But obviously with this you get a lot more alpha, so it's a difficult question. Is it better than the Baby Waffle? Well, I don't know. I do genuinely think they are kind of on par. I think the Waffle just kind of maybe steals it a little bit, in my opinion, just for the facts that I've sort of listed, you know, as I've said. But this is a phenomenal tank, and like I say, when I've sort of done the whole guide to grind, I do genuinely believe that this is one of the, if not the best tank destroyer line to grind in the game. I've not come across any other TD line yet or previously that I think trumps this. I might be pleasantly surprised when I when I sort of finish grinding some tanks. I mean, I'm sort of trying to think of the TD lines that I've got left to do. I've got the Chinese tank destroyer line left to do, which obviously is similar style to this TD line, but we'll have to wait and see. It might trump it, might not. But yeah, the 704, like I say, it's just been absolutely phenomenal, and I thoroughly enjoy playing it. And yeah, and so Sverogorsk so far hasn't been too bad, considering it's a map that, like I say, doesn't really offer much opportunity for tank destroyers to do well, unless you're sort of playing an evil or something like that sort of doubles up as a heavy tank kind of. We've done okay. We've done 3.7k damage with 2 kills. So average game for this. We're going to try and see if we can pick up maybe another kill or a bit more damage. We've got we've got 2 heavy tanks here, and we can try and support. We do sneak a nice shot into that TNH that goes steamrolling into that heavy tank. He does take him out. We did get shot by the Italian tank destroyer. That's also another tank destroyer line that hasn't gone down yet. However, from what a lot of people would tell me, that is absolutely horrific, and I will probably be leaving that till last, or one at the very least, to grind out. So we get the final kill there on the TNH, picking up a little bit of damage, and we finally sort of bring an end to the game, picking up the victory. Pretty smooth win there. We don't come top of the board. The Emil 2 gets top of the board, and he did actually have a fairly decent game himself with 4.1k damage, so fair play. Not an easy feat in the Emil 2, if I'm honest. Bit of an awkward tank, but yeah, we pick up the first class, and like I say, we picked up a fair bit of damage in the end, and 4 kills, so a nice result on a map that, like I say, doesn't really favour tank destroyers like this as such. So moving into replay number 2 now, and we're on Himmelsdorf. Again, probably similar to Sverogorsk. Not that much of an ideal tank destroyer map, but we're going to make the most of it the best we can. And we are also rolling with a good friend of ours. I'm going to assume it's mass because it's artillery and it's free marks, I believe, so it has to be mass. He's the only guy that I know that would be scummy enough to free mark artillery. But anyway, we digress. So moving on then, we've come to the train track side of the map, and reason being, I want to see if we can catch anybody crossing, and we can see there's an FE there. We squeeze a shot into, and we luckily managed to sort of just get behind the building in time. Artillery has decided who's going to sort of aim at us as well. Get a nice roll on that FE as well. Roll for 776, so we've high rolled there. Going to pop back out and try and see if there's any other opportunities where we can squeeze some shots in. That Panzerjäger crosses, which lights up that FE, but that FE sort of just pops out, gets a shot off, and then rolls back into cover. I'm trying to see if maybe I can get a shot on the Italian tank destroyer that is also poking that corner there. But again, he's gone blind, so not going to sort of take any shots there. But then see a shot fire, and he gets lit up, but he's just behind cover, so can't really get any shots in. I was trying to see if I could potentially get a shot through this window, but it's not looking likely. We're too low down, and so really the only other thing is to sort of maybe try and see if we can get some shots off down the train track. So we're going to move out here. We can see this tier 8 heavy tank, sorry, which we tried getting a shot into, but unfortunately we didn't penetrate. We just bounced there. We are picking up a little bit of assist, but yeah, we're just taking our time. The SU manages taking that Panzerjäger, which isn't a bad thing because that Panzerjäger would have sort of lit us up if we started moving down the train track line. And I was thinking about doing that, but I think I've just decided to turn my attention elsewhere. there's nothing on the hill, so you know, I sort of think the majority. I'm not really entirely sure where the majority of the enemy team is. It's, you know, it's even scores. It looks like they've come down the banana road, because let's say we've got tanks on the hill that are not being contested. The banana road is pretty much unattended, and it seems to me that this is where the enemy tanks have come through. Now I've decided to move around and try and basically cut off these guys. I've also sort of decided that, you know, sort of sitting where I was, it was just kind of a little bit boring. We did get a shot into this KV4. He's now down to a one shot, so I'm just going to sort of line up my shot, just aim it nicely. We managed to squeeze in the shot, taking out the Russian tank destroyer there. Artillery is now aiming at us. I'm just moving along because I'm just sort of wanting to avoid getting shot by artillery and also getting caught out by that light tank. Just want to move down to this position here. There's tank destroyer moving up to mass, but it looks like that tank destroyer is sort of in engagement with one of our friendly tank destroyers. At the moment it's just sort of about trying to find where the enemy tanks are, because the game's been very even, but it's been very sort of, I guess probably cat and mouse. It's just, you know, the enemy's just kind of moving through the map, sort of unspotted and unchecked. But tried squeezing a shot in that Italian tank destroyer that was full health there, but unfortunately our gun just derped. Nature of the beast with Russian tank destroyers, Soviet tank destroyers, sorry, should I say, is they are just a tad bit derpy. The Italian tank destroyer gets a shot into us, but we do get a shot in return. That's, you know, that's a fair trade, I think. At the end of the day, I've got plenty of hit points to exchange, and if I'm honest, the game looks like it's close, but it's, yeah, I'm not really done anything, and I'm kind of just want to sort of get into the fight. So I'm happy to exchange some hit points. I'm sort of confident that yeah, I can sort of win this engagement. A little bit confident, I guess, that the team is going to win anyway, because if you take artillery out of the equation, it's 5v2, so we should be comfortable basically. But stranger things have happened, so we're just taking our time, we're just being careful, we're trying to find this Italian TD, because you know he's got sort of plenty of hit points to play with. The convoy gets taken up by our friendly tortoise, so this is pretty much leaves the game in the bag, if I'm honest. But yeah, this Italian tank destroyer has decided to just go a completely different route and go and take out our friendly tank destroyers, and it's just completely eluded me. So yeah, it looks like it's going to take out the friendly tortoise, and yeah, it gives me the opportunity to go in and start picking up some damage off of this Italian tank destroyer. I'm hoping I can potentially catch him out unaware, so I can get a shot in without hopefully taking any damage. But even if I did, it's not the end of the world. He's not focusing us. We do manage to squeeze a shot, and he's backing up. I think he might be on reload. But again, I didn't take a shot, so it was a nice, you know, we managed to get a shot in sort of unmolested there, which is good. And we squeezed the kill shot in without taking a shot in return. So yeah, we've had a real sort of lucky touch there. Decided to tuck into the side of this building to avoid getting shot by artillery. Now I've lost my spot, I can now move in and start seeing if I can find the artillery and take them out. I've loaded the HE because obviously I can do a hell of a lot more damage with the HE rounds. The only problem the thing with Himmelsdorf is there is a lot of destructible cover in the way. Now the problem you have with HE is if it hits any of that destructible cover, it's just going to get absorbed into that. Same with heat shells as well, so it's not ideal. So that's why I was just trying to aim the shot, you know, precisely, which I managed to, and I managed to pick up my third kill there, taking out one of the artillery. I'm hoping I can find the second enemy artillery so that I can you know, take him out as well and sort of bring an end to the game. So it's a bit of a race between me and the friendly heavy tank on our team now to try and see who can spot up artillery first. kind of expects him to be in this corner. If he's not in this corner, then he's clearly going to be in their base. Can't really see any other positions where I think the enemy artillery is going to be. So kind of preparing myself to sort of bump into this artillery piece when I sort of come around this corner potentially. Our friendly heavy tank is getting on the cap, and we still can't find the enemy artillery. So I'm not entirely sure where this guy is. Yeah, a bit of a strange one. So, but we're just going to keep sort of driving around the map until we find him. There's yeah, it's Himmelsdorf. There's not many places where he can hide, and it's not exactly a large map where you can just sort of get away unattended. Our sixth sense goes off, so we know he's nearby. He's proxy spotting us, but that sixth sense just indicates to me that he's somewhere around here. So we can't have gone far. Expect him to be somewhere, and there we go. Our friendly heavy tank has lit him up. We're going to come around the corner here, aim the shot, and we slap the shot in, picking up our 4th kill of the game and bringing an end to the replay. So we pick up the win there and come top of the board with 4 kills, 5.2k damage. Not a bad game for Himmelsdorf, if I'm honest. And yeah, like I say, it was sort of a fairly decent result for a map that didn't really doesn't really favour this tank as such. So yeah, not bad at all. And it just goes to show that, like I say, you can you can make the Object 704 work on various map types, even if ones that aren't sort of favourable for you, like Himmelsdorf. So you can still make it work. But anyway, we move on to the 3rd replay now, where we are on El Haluf, which is, I would say, more favourable for us because sort of fairly open. A lot of tank destroyer spots where the enemy are going to play, or it's predictable where they're going to play, so we can set up nicely and get shots in when they get spotted. You also notice there are quite a few heavy tanks per team. There's 7, so near enough half the team are tank destroyers, which is good for us because we know where they're going to be, and if they get lit we can just sort of slap a shot in and pick up some damage. We notice this PTA has come into the middle. Not a bad play for him because good view range, good camo. There is a light tank on each team, but he's obviously sort of playing in the middle to try and get spots on the tank destroyers that be sitting up here. We tried having a little snapshot at that, I believe that was a T30 or a T34, but yeah, we weren't quite properly aimed in, so yeah, the shots just sort of went wide, which will happen. Let's say high alpha gun, very derpy, so you can expect not to snap shots. It's one of those, it's 50-50. RNG giveth, RNG taketh away. But we're just waiting kind of patiently for the enemy tanks to get spotted. I mean, see, one of our mediums has gone into the middle, but it's not really sort of poking up enough to get any spots. You also see a medium tank over on the left hand side, and I think at this point I'm kind of getting a little bit bored and just sort of thinking, well, sat here long enough and nothing's really happening. Maybe if I was to sort of move positions and see the light tank that's in the middle there. I'm also conscious maybe that some heavy tanks may move into a position where we can get shots on them. You usually find sometimes you get the odd heavy tank or medium tank or something basically trying to outflank this the sort of friendly tanks on this corner here. If I'm honest, sort of looking at the map split and looking at how many friendly tanks we've got on that corner, I can't really see that side being overmatched as much. So again, moving over here might have been sort of a pretty pointless exercise, but at the end of the day nothing was really happening on the other side, so I just sort of figured, well, yeah, it's just a game of patience at the moment. That's kind of the problem with El Haluf. If your friendly team doesn't really go and spot the ridge, then you're not really going to have much luck. Now their light tank has just lit us up because he's sort of pushing aggressively over here. He's doing the right thing, trying to spot up the TDs on the 9-0 line. Now we're just going to try and see if maybe this PTA gets a bit brave and decides to poke out potentially. I say I'm just having to be patient here because there's not really much giving us any shots or any opportunity. And this is the thing with El Haluf, it really is sort of a big game of patience. We can see this one-shot medium tank that is over here, which again we're going to try and see if he'll make a mistake that leads to letting us get a shot in. But then this PTA suddenly decides to venture out into the open, does light us up. We do get a shot in, we do take a shot in return from something across the way. I don't think it was a PTA that shot us. Well, I could be wrong, I think it might well be, I don't know. But we've taken a hit of damage anyway, but we kind of just, I was getting bored. So I kind of just think, we'll take the trade. Another TD, the T95 reveals himself. We get a nice lucky bounce there from across the way, which is good. This tank can bounce some shots sometimes. Now we see the enemy object 704 across the way, and we do get a nice shot in, and I'm just waiting to see if maybe we could have got the kill shot. But then he goes unspotted, so now again we're just going to sort of wait and bide our time. Picked up 2.3k damage already with 413 assists. That was from the PTA that sort of YOLO'd out in the middle. Now I'm going to sort of play a little bit more aggressive and push up into the middle position here. Mainly because I just kind of want to be in a position where if anything gets lit up at the back there, so I kind of feel like that's where the majority of the team are going to be. I'm in a good position where I can get the shots off, rather than sort of sitting at the back and being out of my rend range. I'm not going to get any shots, so I'm playing a bit more of a, it's a bit more risky because I could potentially get spotted up here and I could get absolutely mullered. But it's one of those things. I did expect to get sort of lit when I sort of took the shot, but again I've been sort of sat here long enough. We're 2 tanks up, so I'm sort of conscious we've got the lead on tanks, mainly I was just a bit bored. So unfortunately T95 just managed to sneak behind cover before we can get the shot off. I'm kind of hoping that maybe he reverses back, but it looks like he's just sort of going gung-ho forward. Again, I'm getting a little bit bored, so I think I'm going to move in here and just sort of try and pick up as much just pick up as much damage as possible, really. This tank can bounce a few shots. Its upper plate can be quite tough. Again, if it's sort of angled upright as well, that's going to increase the chances of bouncing even more. So it does have that capability of bouncing the odd shot. It's not something I would fully rely on, but it can get you out of trouble sometimes if you get lucky with the lucky with the angle. Sorry, is what I meant to say. So we're going to move up the slope now. We're 4 tanks ahead, so I think at this point, we're 5 tanks now ahead. So I'm sort of thinking that at this point, I just want to sort of push in now and try and get as much damage out of this game as possible, because I feel like the win is looking very likely. Now a lot of the tanks are in exactly sort of the positions that I thought they would be, sort of sitting at the back here. Not a bad idea when they're at sort of this score, because at the end of the day they're just trying to get as much damage out of this game as possible, which is fair enough. You can see this Badger that is playing hold down, looking at us. We're not going to get a shot through his upper plate, not when he's angled like that. That's exactly how you play the Badger, is hold down in that position, because let's say it has got a strong upper plate. Now we're just going to sort of move in here. I'm sort of wondering which target to sort of pick at this moment in time, and I'm going to go straight for the Badger. Need to be careful of the Murret. The Murret is full health, and we don't really want to take the full clip from the Murret. But now, I'm going to sort of go in, get a shot on the Murret. I do set him on fire. The Tortoise is trying to basically get plenty of shots into us, but is struggling slightly. But we can afford to take a shot, because then we could just get the kill shot in there, picking up our 3rd kill of the game. And again, bringing an end to the replay. So that was a bit of a patient game that sort of paid off in the end. But yeah, we picked up 4.8k damage, 1600 assists, 3 kills. Again, I think we sort of end up picking up the first class medal. So yeah, again, a patient game, a bit of a tricky map to play. It can always sort of work out. El Haluf is one of those, it's hit and miss. It can work out in your favour or it won't. But anyway, we move on to the fourth and final replay, and we always leave the best till last, and this is a very good game that I end up with. So we are on Erlenberg, which is one of the perfect maps for the Object 704 because Erlenberg is quite a campy map, should I say. Both sides can be quite campy. But yeah, I like Erlenberg. It's one of my more favourite maps, if I'm honest, because I think it can give most classes the opportunity to play their tank effectively and sort of play without sort of feeling too constrained by the map. Like I was saying with Sverigorsk, where it's sort of more biased towards heavies, and you've got sort of a lot of choke points where you brawl out, whereas Erlenberg probably does favour TDs and light tanks a little bit more, but there is that strategy element to it, I think anyway, with Erlenberg. Now we've come up to this position where we are going to sort of try and catch out tanks on the cross. This Object 704 decided to move across in the open and gets punished for it, but unfortunately we weren't able to we're just not in a position where we could get a shot off. Tried sneaking a shot into the Pershing there, again wasn't fully aimed in. The Pershing was just sort of getting his turret down anyway, so I don't think that shot was really going to come off. Now you notice that we are playing proper defensive, proper campy here. There's no one moved over to the other flank, and yeah, this is one of the problems I guess with Erlenberg is like I say, it can be a bit of a camp fest, and yeah, it can get a bit stale. But a game of patience again, a bit like El Haluf, but the only difference with Erlenberg is I usually have a lot of shots on either side. There's always something to shoot at, basically. There's always something that's going to present a shot to itself. So anyway, we come over to this corner, and I kind of want to clear and help clear this corner out if I can. I tried getting a shot from the Ruthless there. Unfortunately, it was just hitting the top sort of edge of his tank, so automatically going to bounce. But I kind of want to take this Ruthless out, because if we can take this Ruthless out, there's one dangerous tank out of the game, and I've kind of just gone for it here. Unfortunately, we don't roll high enough to kill him, but he did take his shot before we got our shot in, so didn't have to worry about any reprisals, and didn't have to worry about him sort of potentially getting a huge shot into us. It's on to a free shot now. I decided to just go in and just sort of take the shot into the side, taking out the Ruthless, which you can see now, it just kind of gives us the confidence to go in and take out the Super Conqueror. I didn't want to push in there because, like I say, I'm kind of exposing my side there, and I do get shot from the middle. There was also a tank sort of just across the way, so I didn't want to sort of push in and get put into a crossfire. It'd be great if our light tank could sort of go and spot, but our light tank has decided to go on strike today. So unfortunately, I'm going to have to just sort of play even a bit more patient and just kind of hope that maybe our team decides to, or one of them decides to go out and spot, because then I can just sort of basically farm. With this TD, like I say, it's not got the best of camos or view range, so it's not one of those TDs, it's not like the Strits where I could probably, if both light tanks are dead and we sort of really desperately needed a spotter, it's not like Strits where you can just go out and pop in the middle and just basically light everybody up because you've got fantastic camo and view range. It's not that sort of tank. It really is sort of it is like your traditional tank destroyer as such. Like I say, you can get lucky with the bounces. I wouldn't say it's one that you could brawl with. It's not in that category like the Grom, similar to that, where you've got really strong upper plate and you can sort of brawl with other tanks. yeah, I've always played it as a little bit more of a traditional tank destroyer rather than your brawler or anything like that. I mean, you look at the tank and you think it must be a brawler. Yeah, the armor looks deceiving. I find that with a lot of Russian tanks where the armor looks deceiving. It looks like it has plenty of armor and it can bounce and it can do really well. But in actual fact, it does get penned a lot easier than most people think. So anyway, the base is being capped. We've got actually 2 tanks on the cap now, so I'm going to go over and I'm going to try and see if I can potentially get a shot off. Now, the Death Star has just fired, he's just taken out our light tank, which is not great, but we do get a shot in, and I think we did just set him on fire as well, so it's quite lucky. But unfortunately, we need to get a shot onto the Ho-Ri that's on the cap. Luckily, someone does, so that actually fully resets the cap. Now I'm going to poke over and I'm going to squeeze a shot in, but I need to get down as quickly as possible because yeah, that Death Star's there, who I think just splash damaged us with HE. We need to get rid of this Death Star really, and he's actually a one-shot for me. Unfortunately, he just goes unspotted there, which is not great. I was just kind of expecting that Death Star to just stay spotted. Now I'm going to be quite brave here, and I'm going to swing round. I was going to swing around and light up that Death Star, but that Death Star unfortunately is, well, I say unfortunately, has fortunately killed himself. Obviously sort of went for a dip and didn't realise how deep the water was. A lot of people get caught out by that river section. Yeah, you need to be careful. Not all of it you can just travel across in time. Now we see this enemy Polish heavy tank. We're going to slap a shot in there. There's also the AAT 60 here. Now I do need to be careful because I don't know what tanks are at the back there, if any. So, but I'm going to poke back up again. This Cholg is a one-shot, and he's just behind a building there. Unfortunately, I couldn't get the kill shot. Just trapped him in place. This AAT gets absolutely slapped. And just decided to just full-on YOLO me for whatever unknown reason. I'm able to get the shot in, picking up our 3rd kill of the game there. And again, I'm just sort of being overly cautious. I don't want to go sort of throwing hit points away. I know the Polish heavy tank is back there. It's also very, very even. It's 4-all here. See our friendly tank destroyer has gone round to try and take out that enemy heavy tank on the other side. Just line up the shot and we take our time, and there we go, squeeze the shot in, taking out the enemy Cholg, picking up our 4th kill of the game. Now the Jagdtiger over the enemy, the Jagdtiger over the other side gets taken out. And this is key information for us. We know the enemy Jagdtiger's over there and the enemy heavy tank, which leaves the Shashka unaccounted for. So I'm going to push over sort of aggressively. I've got our friendly TDs following me, so I know I've got cover. I've sort of said to him I'm going to lead the way. I'm going to sort of try and spot up, so just cover me, sort of using that radial command wheel. But now the Shashka gets lit up by our friendly tank destroyer, who actually puts a slapping shot in. I want to poke over here. I think I might actually have a shot on this guy. Just waiting and waiting, and there we go. Squeeze the shot in and pick up our 5th kill of the game there. And we're up to 5.5k damage, so we've had quite a nice game already. I think maybe I get an ace if this game finished now, but I think it's probably borderline at the moment, very borderline. But we're going to move on regardless. We've got 2 tanks left. I know where they are because they were sort of last position was sort of C and B1 around that area. So I'm going to just take a bit of a long way round up to this hill, mainly because I will have cover. I'm going to let our friendly tank destroyer, who's sort of way up ahead of us, going to let him sort of do the spotting. We're both pretty much matched on hit points, but again, I don't really want to take the hit of damage, so maybe I'm just gonna, I'll let you go. It's fine. It's fine. Hopefully they'll move up and be able to get a spot. I'm getting up into this position here now. here I can get a bit of a crossfire on any of those tanks. Obviously if they're I might be able to spot them, but at this moment in time I've not lit anything up, so my assumption is they are way far at the back, and again I'm just waiting patiently. I'm just, like I say, going to let our friendly tank destroyer move ahead and do the spotting, and there we go. He lights up the Ag Tiger, slap a shot in there, putting him onto a one shot. Our other friendly tank destroyer misses, well, bounces that shot on that 705A, and now he's putting himself into a position where I think, yeah, he's side scraping off a rock. I've just bounced off the side of his turret, and yeah, that 705A just takes it off for any Hori. And look, he's doing the right thing here. I'm trying to see if I can potentially shoot the cupola, but he's making it very, very hard here. Our poor tank destroyer is kind of in no man's land. The Ag Tiger then gets spotted, so I take my time. I manage to get a shot off, picking up the top gun there, getting our 6th kill of the game. And you can see, look, our Wizzy is on 5 hit points. He's taken a right old hammering. Yeah, that's why you let the pawns go first in chess. We're lining up the shot here on the 705A, but he's doing his very, very best to hide all of his tank. In fact, he's playing very well, to be fair. He's doing the right thing. He's moving backwards and forwards. This is how you play a heavy tank, sort of side scraping off a rock, covering as much as you can, moving backwards and forwards to make the shot very difficult. I've loaded the HE here because I'm trying to go for a splash shot, but fortunately fully aimed in at range and the shot just skew whiffs. This is not ideal. This is not what I want. I don't think I'm gonna, well, the Wizzy luckily manages to get a HE shot and puts him down to 97 hit points. There is a potential I could splash and kill him, basically. But he's just not giving me enough of his tank, and again, it's difficult. So now I'm basically, I've just decided, you know what, I'm going to move around. I'm going to get around to the right hand side. I can't sort of wait any longer because, you know, my poor Wizzy's sort of down here. He's doing a great job. He's stayed alive long enough. But I need to get in a position where I can get a shot. Now I've got the side of him, we've got more of a shot, lining up the shot, there we go, get the HE shot for the splash and pick up our 7th kill of the game. Kudos to that, to the Wizzy tank destroyer there, done a great job holding out and just doing the spot and roll at the end for us. And yeah, we pick up the 1st place on the leaderboard. We get 7 kills, 6.7k damage with 547 assists, a little bit of block there. And yeah, that was the final game before we actually got the Object 268. So nice way to end the grind there, wasn't it? We pick up Devastator medal, and like I say, yeah, a real decent game, bottom tier. So yeah, that is the Object 704, guys. Like I say, a fantastic tank destroyer. If you've not got it or you haven't ground it yet, do it, because you will not be disappointed. It is absolutely phenomenal. And yeah, that is it, guys. So I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, please like and subscribe, because it always does help the channel. Feel free to leave a comment. I'll always get back to you. And as always, guys, I'll catch you next time.